Hello everybody and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, January the 8th, 2018. And time once again for the mailbag. I hope all of you had a magnificent new year. Mine was very quiet and relaxed, exactly the way I like it. A couple of announcements before starting. I've gotten a couple of new patrons since Christmas, so I want to say welcome and thank you to those people. I'm also starting a new series. You know, sometimes you just make a decision by jumping in and then thinking about the consequences later. But I'm doing it anyway. I was on Twitter the other day and I saw a tweet from my colleague Jason Sanford, who had mentioned that he is going to try to read one work of SFF short fiction a day for the entire year of 2018. And I thought to myself, that is a fantastic goal. It's doable, and I forever have this guilt about, accumulating all of this short fiction, whether it's in magazines, some of these subscriptions I have, or, just stuff that's laying around the house that I haven't gotten around to yet. I get all this short fiction, but I don't get around to reading it because I concentrate on the novels so much. And I said to myself, just right then, impulsively, I'm going to do that too. And made the announcement. And so now I have to do it. Sometimes you have to do that. You have to make the announcement and then be like, oh crap, well now I've got to do this because I promised everyone. So, good news is I have been doing it. So tomorrow on the channel on Tuesday, look for the very first video in my new series, weekly series, Daily Shorts, where I will be recounting my short fiction a day reads for the year of 2018. So, hope you enjoy that. But otherwise, modest week because I think everything here is the last of the stuff that got mailed out by publicists before leaving for the Christmas New Year holiday, and new stuff for 2018 hasn't really started pouring in yet. So yeah, 2-week break, but a small 5 packages, so we'll get through these pretty quickly. And the first of these is no real surprise. It is the finished hardcover copy of Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. This is a new novel set in the universe of the Red Rising trilogy, but it's about 30 years in the future. Okay, and so this comes out next week on the 16th. Is there anything that I'd really rather not. I don't need to. I mean, if you've been reading these, obviously you're looking forward to this one. It's very much an anticipated sequel for quite a lot of people this year. So Iron Gold by Pierce Brown is coming out, like I said, on the 16th. And it's a good opportunity for me to start getting caught up. So I can try to get a review of this one in a timely fashion for you guys. And next up right here, it says we have a little package from HarperCollins Publishers. And I think this is a duplicate. I think I got this last week. I'm almost certain I did. Or 2 weeks ago, anyway. But, once again, this is Sarah Tarkoff's Sinless. This is a new book coming out tomorrow on the 9th. It says, imagine a world where morality is physically enforced. Those who are good are blessed with beauty, while those who are not suffer terrifying consequences, disfigurement, or even death. Sarah Tarkoff is a writer for the TV series Arrow. Anyway, it says, this dark cinematic dystopian novel, first in the Eye of the Beholder series, is set in a near-future society in which right and wrong are manifested by beauty and ugliness. In Grace Luther's world, morality is physically enforced. Those who are good are blessed with beauty, while those who are not suffer horrifying consequences, disfigurement, or even... I know I just said that. Anyway, when the cleric's daughter stumbles into information that proves her world is more complicated than it seems, she finds herself at the center of an epic battle where good and evil are not so easily distinguished. Moral ambiguity. Hashtag. Despite all her efforts to live a normal teenage life, Grace is faced with a series of decisions that will risk the lives of everyone she loves. Okay then. Chilling, thought-provoking new dystopian. We'll have readers of the Hunger Games Divergent Maze. Stop referencing those same 3 books for everything. Hunger Games Divergent Maze Runner. It's over. We're beyond that. Okay, let's just forget it. Okay, but anyway, Sinless, tomorrow on the 9th from Harper Voyager by Sarah Tarkoff. And this one right here is also from HarperCollins. Ooh, okay, this is kind of neat. In fact, I just got contacted by the publicist about this. Telling me to watch out for it. But this is a new novel by Raymond E. Feist. And this comes out in May. Does it say specifically when in May? Oh, I think it does. I think it does because they have a sell sheet tucked way in here, hiding from me, so I don't uncover its secrets. Well, blah ha ha. I have found your secrets. All right, May the 8th. Let's see. Raymond E. Feist introduces an all-new world in epic fantasy. The Firemane Saga, an electrifying tale of two young men whose choices will determine a world's destiny. Okay, welcome to the world of Garn, where for centuries the 5 greatest kingdoms of North and South Tembria, twin continents, have coexisted in harmony. However, the balance of power is destroyed when 4 of the 5 kingdoms violate an ancient covenant of peace and turn against the 5th. This fallen kingdom is Ithrace, the Kingdom of Flames, ruled by Steverin Langine, known as the Firemane for his brilliant red hair. Well, who wouldn't attack a kingdom ruled by a ginger, eh? Yeah, I know, cheap shot, sorry. Anyway, it says, as war engulfs the world, Ithrace is destroyed, and the greater realms of Tembria are thrust into a dangerous struggle for supremacy. Filled with magical elements, charismatic heroes, and epic battles, King of Ashes will appeal to epic fantasy readers of all ages and satisfy fans of Game of Thrones. You know, there's another one that's about due to have its constant compared to thing, you know, retired. King of Ashes, the Firemane Saga Book 1, comes out on May the 8th from Raymond E. Feist. And next up, from the fine folks at Saga Press, we finally have Space Opera in ARC forms by Catherine Valente. Comes out April the 3rd. And I told you a little bit about it in a sketchy way in my anticipated science fiction video, but now I have the book here, and I'm going to read it in more detail. Although they don't do sell sheets, really, at Saga, so I'm just going to have to read this whole thing. A century ago... Can I do that? Can I do it like this? Maybe. Yeah, I can. A century ago, the Sentience Wars tore the galaxy apart and nearly ended the entire concept of intelligent spacefaring life. In the aftermath, a curious tradition was invented by the remnants of civilization, something to cheer up everyone who was left, something to celebrate, having escaped total annihilation by the skin of one's teeth, if indeed one has skin or teeth. Something to bring the shattered worlds together in the spirit of peace, unity, understanding, and the most powerful of all, social bonds, excluding others. Once every cycle, the great galactic civilizations gather for the Metagalactic Grand Prix, part gladiatorial contest, part beauty pageant, part concert extravaganza, and part, a very large but very subtle part, continuation of the wars of the past. The powerful species that survived compete in feats not of orbital combat, but of song, dance, and/or whatever facsimile of these can be performed by various creatures who may or may not possess, in the traditional sense, feet, mouths, larynxes, or faces. And if a new species should wish to be counted among the high and the mighty, if a new planet has produced some savage group of animals, machines, or algae that claim to be against all odds sentient, well then, they will have to compete. If a species fails, they will be quietly exterminated by the powers that be so as to avoid another costly and annoying sentience war. It's a mercy, really. One must always think of the greater good after all. This year, a bizarre and unsightly species has looked up from its muddy, planet-bound cradle and noticed the enormous universe blaring on around it. Humanity. Where they expected to one day reach out into space and discover a grand drama of diplomacy, gunships, wormholes, and stoic councils of grave aliens, they have found glitter, and lipstick, and pyrotechnics, and electric guitars. Decibel Jones and the Absolute Zeros, a somewhat dubious mid-2000s Britpop sensation, fallen on hard times and harder luck, have been chosen to represent their planet on the greatest stage in the galaxy, and the fate of Earth lies in their ability to rock. There it is, everyone. Space Opera, April the 3rd from Catherine M. Valente. If anybody can pull this kind of craziness off, it would have to be her. And last but not least, this has turned up from Angry Robot Books, and I'm very happy to see this. This is a new book by Rod Duncan. It's called The Queen of All Crows. It is the first in a new steampunk series called The Map of Unknown Things, and this is a sequel trilogy to his earlier trilogy, The Fall of the Gaslit Empire, of which I reviewed the first book, The Bullet Catcher's Daughter. Really liked it. It's about this young woman who's sort of living... who's kind of fled a very unpleasant situation in England. She has kind of gone, you know, over the wall into Scotland, and she is living in disguise as her own brother, where she works as a detective. And of course, the evil authorities from down in England are after her and everything. And so I really want to go ahead and get the other 2 books in that trilogy reviewed and move on to this one, because I did like that quite a bit. So in The Queen of All Crows, let's see, this is... I'm going to have to hold it like this because I can't see it otherwise. The year is 2012, but it might as well be the Victorian age. The nations of the world are overseen by the International Patent Office, right, and its ruthless stranglehold on technology. When airships start disappearing in the middle of the Atlantic, the Patent Office is desperate to discover what has happened. Forbidden to operate beyond the territorial waters of member nations, they send spies to investigate in secret, and one of these spies is Elizabeth Barnabas. That's the character. She must overcome her dislike of the machinations of her employers, disguise herself as a man, well, she has experience doing that, and take to the sea in search of the floating nation of pirates who threaten the world over. Okay, and this is out right now from Angry Robot by Rod Duncan, the Queen of All Crows, and if you haven't read the earlier books, go ahead and get them, because they're worth it. And that is what I've got for the very first mailbag for 2018, so you guys know the drill. Hit those comments, let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize in the review queue. And if you enjoyed watching, please leave a like, share the video, and above all, please subscribe if you have not done so. That's how SFF180 grows as a channel. You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's army get little perks like early access on some of these videos. Like I said, I've had a couple new Patreons since Christmas, so welcome to those people. Thank you very much. And I want to thank all the rest of you guys for being amazing, wonderful viewers. And until I see all of you next time, which will be tomorrow, happy reading.